My name is Ann Sheaf, and my horse is Atut, and Atut is going to be 30 years old in December. So he's 29 and about 3/4. He is a Trakehner, which is a German warm blood horse, so he's a big boy. He turned 24 right after I got him, and ever since I did know him and have him, his back legs, his hind legs were arthritic. It was always a struggle, depending on the day, depending on the weather, to pick out his back hooves. Some days he'd lift them right up, some days he won't lift them up very far, some days he would always kick out. When the farrier would come to do his back feet, the farrier normally was on his hands and knees and used his thigh to rest Atut's hind feet on there, because it was hard for him to hold him up the way a young horse does. And that was due entirely, I would presume, to arthritis. I did try him on bute sometimes, never noticed a great difference on bute, which is like horsey aspirin. I never noticed a considerable difference to the point of medicating him regularly, where it was worth than having to get his liver enzymes checked, 6 months down the road. I found out about Companion60 because my husband Robert was doing some collaborative work with Live Pet. Robert is a biochemist and he is a professor at the University of Tulsa. And they started collaborating together so Robert could use some of his biochemistry skills to research some of the effects of the ingredients on cells at the cellular level. And we thought we would try it out on the horse and see how it worked. I started using it on Atut. What I do is he has wet feed, which is wet down beet pulp and hay cubes. And then I put the Companion60 over that, and then I pour the dry on top of it so the dry absorbs the Companion60, and then I give it all to him and he just gobbles it up. There is no issue with him not loving his food. The difference was, one, pretty quickly. I mean, it was after a few days I noticed a difference. And when I was able to pick out his hooves, and I try to pick out his hooves almost daily, and we went from it being a struggle, is today the day where he's going to kick out? Is today the day where I'm down on my hands and knees? And he lifted up that hoof. And I remember calling Robert going, I can't believe this. I can't believe this just happened. And this is where I started really noticing the difference, where I was incredulous that, one, it was a week into it, I noticed a difference. And I made him come out to me to the pasture going, I'm going to pick out his hooves. I want you to watch this. Then the second thing happened is I had the farrier come out. And the farrier has had to take so much time with Atut, as he does with geriatric horses. And it is the first time in the almost 6 years I've had this horse, and I've had his feet done every 6 to 8 weeks, that the farrier was able to lift his foot high enough to work on the hoof on the stand. And we were just, look at this. This was not, well, he used to be able to do this. He had never been able to do that in the almost 6 years I've had him. Besides him being more flexible and having no issue picking out his hooves anymore, Atut, as I would say, is now full of the beans. He's always been just laid back and just moves around, and I've seen birds land on his back, and now I'll bring him out of the pasture and he'll look all around and see what's going on, and he'll decide to spook at a car even though the cars are right next to his pasture. He doesn't spook at them. That's all I can say. He's now full of the dickens, which is really enjoyable to see. And when the vet came out to give his annual shots, and all of a sudden I'm holding him and he decides he's going to dance around on the lead rope, where did this come from? So he has a whole lot more vitality than what he used to have. So he's feeling good and he's happy. I can't believe when I go out there every day to see him that he's going to be 30 years old. He should be old and doddering and looking ready to move on in life. And instead, he's just as happy and young and spry as what he used to be. So it's pretty amazing. I would recommend Companion60 to any equine owner. I would recommend Companion60 to the farriers so that they notice arthritic horses, that this is something I think that they should definitely try and definitely use.